cry in the night, I'm still hearing. No, my love is gone, I must be dreaming. Lost in the mist of passion strange, wiping the tears, I recall the pain of love and laughter, joy now slain. When your world turns cold, won't you call my name? Cry out in the dark, I'll be by your side to give you warmth and light and shield you from the night. Hold on, we'll fan the flames of love.
Heavy Metal Times magazine says Virgin Steel has a lot of potential and will soon break their way into the ranks of metal stardom. Circus magazine says Virgin Steel is heavy metal with an IQ. And Kerrang! Magazine calls Virgin Steel hotter than a barbecue in the Sahara. Hi, I'm Mark Snyder in the studio now with Virgin Steel, a four-piece band from Long Island, USA, whose LP Guardians of the Flame is currently at number 7 on the Sounds Kerrang! Charts. David DeFay, vocals and keyboards, Jack Starr guitars, Joe O on bass, and Joey Avazian on drums and percussion make up the band Virgin Steel. The band was formed in 1981, and Jack, tell me a little bit about the beginnings of Virgin Steel.
Well, the way it started was me and Joey were like, we were jamming and playing together on and off for a couple of years, and we had the idea in the back of our minds to start a heavy metal band. But the problem was we never had a really good singer, so we started auditioning. We went through about 40 different singers, and one day this girl that Joey was friends with suggested that we check out this guy named David DeFay, and she said he was really good, and so we decided we'd go over there and hear him. And I think Joey can tell you the rest of what happened.
Well, me and Jack went down to Dave's house, and he had a whole setup in his basement, a real nice setup, with keyboards and a little PA and everything, so we heard him really well. He played a few songs for us. He played a Rainbow song, and Catch the Rainbow, and a Led Zeppelin song, No Quarter, and totally excellent, that's all I can say. It was that good that we just knew right then and there that this is the singer for Virgin Steel.
Dave, tell me a little bit about the first LP.
The first one was done on a shoestring budget very quickly, and it's basically live in the studio. Very few overdubs on that, and we're quite proud of it.
So that album was released around Christmas time of 1981. Matter of fact, just a couple days before Christmas, if I'm not mistaken. What happened after the release of the first album?
Well, we did lots of support things that Joe O could elaborate on, I think.
The tours?
Yes.
No, the partying.
Partying after the tours. That's great. We opened up for a couple of big bands. Crocus, Riot,
Rod.
Man of War. Mountain. Good old Leslie.
Leslie West.
Yeah, that was a big
thrill.
thrill.
That guy was.
So the sales on that first album is respectable a good word?
Oh yeah, quite respectable, I'd say.
I found something fascinating about that first album. You guys do something that blew me away as well as a lot of your fans. You put a phone number on the back of the album, and when the person who buys the album, or bought the album, called the phone number, they didn't get a recorded message saying, "Hi, this is Virgin Steel, we're playing at such and such, come down and see us." But it was either Jack Starr or Dave DeFay on the phone, or
Sometimes Joey and Joe would
any
pick
member
up.
of the band.
Yeah. They never
and you
knew,
guys
they
were
never,
on the phone, and you were willing to talk, and I found that quite fascinating. Where'd you come up with that idea?
See, like when I was a kid, I saw this album by the Scorpions, and it had their phone number on it. And I thought that was a great idea, to be able to actually call up somebody that was on an album. Because back then, if you were on an album, you were like a superstar. And I just thought it was amazing, and I told myself that, boy, if I ever had a band, and if we ever put out an album, I think that would be a really cool thing to do, have a phone number on it. And we did it.
Okay, so the first LP, Virgin Steel 1, is released. The sales are respectable. You go on a tour to support the album. 6 months later, you're ready with the second album, Virgin Steel 2, Guardians of the Flame. Why would a Long Island-based band be picked up by a European label, which is Music for Nations, right? Dave?
Yeah, that's correct.
What happened with that was their American counterpart called Important Records was distributing our first album. And they saw that it was doing quite well, and they figured that at that time they wanted to get involved with something else, in terms of pushing. So Steve Mason, who's the president of Music for Nations, flew in from London to see us. We played him the tapes of the new album, Guardians of the Flame, and he was blown away. He loved it, and as soon as he got those tapes, he put it on his label. He had it out within a week and a half from the time we gave him the tapes.
So the album was released, Virgin Steel 2, Guardians of the Flame, in mid-July, and a lot has happened since then. Your album, like I said, is at number 7 on the Sounds Kerrang! Heavy Metal charts. Fill me in a little more detail on what has happened since the release of Virgin Steel 2.
Well, since then, we've been to England. It's been nice over there. We met a lot of the fans, and we had a great time, and we plan to go back there very soon. Also, we've done a lot other recordings that are going to be coming out within the coming months, and a lot more playing, quite a bit more playing.
You guys writing right now for an upcoming album? I know you had mentioned, Jack, that
Well, I've
you
been-
kind of like to, in your mind, the band wants to release an album, not to the second, to the day, but every 6 months he'd like to kind of
Right.
keep up that pace. Tell me a little bit about that.
Well, you know, we all do a lot of writing. Like, I'm very good in men's room. No.
Hey, a lot of great songs have been written on the bowl.
But no, seriously, you know, we all like to write, and there's something to be said though about being prolific. You know, like coming out with an album every 6 months. It keeps the kids interested. It keeps everybody up to date. You know, everybody feels like they're part of something that's happening, and also if the
Things
band
aren't stagnant.
Right, yeah, and if the band progresses, then people can see the progress happening, and that's something that I really get off on. Like, a lot of people have told me that they've seen a progression from the first album to the second album.
Without a doubt. Production, songwriting, it's a 100% improvement.
Yeah, and I used to see that, you know, when I used to follow, like, some of the really big bands, you know, like Zeppelin. You used to see how they would get more evolved with each album.
Even bands like Kiss, the production of the first album to the second album to the third album to Destroyer,
Forget it. Yeah.
I mean, they made quite a step. So you guys, record is at number 7. I'm sure that's, you guys feel that's quite an accomplishment. How do you feel about that?
I think it's amazing.
Did
What does
you
Joe
ever
think about it?
think, looking back, that you'd have a record sitting at number 7 comfortably? I might want to add.
How long ago?
I knew it.
When
I knew
kids
I was
now.
destined for greatness. I knew it. My mother told me when I was a kid. I just knew it.
All right. What is in the future for Virgin Steele? You've got 2 albums out now. You're working on a possible major tour of Europe.
Yes, hopefully we want to be back there very soon.
Does Virgin Steele have a message for its fans?
Definitely. Whatever you play, whether it's bass, drums, guitar, keyboard, you sing, just do what you feel is right. I mean, if you want to be a drummer, practice. If you want to be a guitar player, practice. Whatever you do, just practice, and you'll get it. You'll do it right, and you'll know when you've got it.
Jack, what do you think?
Well, you know, my only message is really do what you feel, make yourself happy. I mean, I know it sounds kind of philosophical here, but seriously, it's important that to believe in yourself, especially, and I know the economy really sucks right now. I don't know, in England, in Europe, in America,
All over.
the place. It really sucks, and it's hard. It's a hard time growing up for kids. And I mean, I say that even though it was only 10 years ago that, you know, I was a teenager, I still feel that a lot has happened in 10 years and that it's really gotten worse. So my message is, you know, try to look on the positive side even though the world around you is crumbling. Try not to think about it for a while, at least when you listen to our albums.
Joe, what's your message for your fans?
My message would be, buy our album, come see us. We're hot, we're great. You're missing something.